This is a battle in round 2 of the blue tournament. Wolf Blademaster commanding Boii and SITH Reptilicus Khan commanding Tylus. So, another Boii Tylus matchup. This time it's on Alexandria, of all places. I'm going to guess that the map was picked by Reptilicus in this case, because Alexandria is going to penalize Boii more than Tylus, and yes, it indeed looks like it is Reptilicus who chose Alexandria, because Alexandria with its forests is going to make it easier for him to use his infantry, while the very dangerous heavy horse of the Boii are going to find it harder to get good charges in these forests. They can still do it, but it's just going to be less effective. So, 4 heavy horse, 2, 3, 4, 5 levy freemen, and just judging by... This is a new way I'm going to start rating the chances of victory in a battle. So if one player has, let's say, 4 levy freemen, and the other player has 5 or 6, then the other player is going to get 5 to 4 advantage in terms of how likely it is that it's going to win. So I can only see 2 levy freemen, 3 levy freemen, 4 levy freemen. So this is actually a very close battle in terms of army composition, in terms of levy freeman composition. We have, I'll just finish. We have some sword followers, 6 sword followers, and 2 Oathsworn. The Oathsworn general is a strategist, of course. We have the raiding horse here, running around on the outskirts. In the opening stages of the battle, we'll just see this raiding horseman burning around, getting a bit tired, getting a few volleys off on these units, and then wasting the volleys of some of these levy freemen, so they won't be able to participate in the late game as effectively as they would have if they indeed had javelins. But firing at these guys is pretty much a waste. So fire at will should definitely be turned off at this point, because killing levy freemen, of course levy freemen are the most valuable units in the game, but killing them just isn't really worth it, because it's just going to make the rest of the levy freemen more angry. So Blademaster moving up slowly. He's not running his units, I just have it in fast forward. Here we have some nice javelin baiting going on. So the levy freemen throw, but they do not connect. A few hits, but they didn't really kill anything. So that was one of the rare occasions where levy freemen missed their targets. Usually their accuracy is on point. So the 2 sides are getting closer and closer in the forest here. And when the main engagement starts happening, I think I'm going to have to put this in slow motion, because there's going to be a lot of small and important MLG moments. Heroically leading the charge will be the levy freemen. Both players are using their levy freemen as shock absorbers for the main line of infantry of Oathsworn, tribals and sword followers. So we can't really see what Reptilicus has now, but you can assume that he has a bunch of Oathsworn and tribals, basically. His general is also a strategist. So here the levy freemen are going to start engaging. All across the line we have levy freemen. Here we have some levy freemen going through the water trying to flank, so that's nice. Bam! Levy freemen on levy freemen. But here these levy freemen got a nice volley off, and they actually killed an Oathsworn. So first Oathsworn blood goes to these levy freemen. And they are baiting a lot of javelin fire here on these units. Massive amount of javelins incoming against the levy freemen. Over here as well, they are just drawing out the javelins from these units, which might be important in the late game. One well-placed javelin in the volley in the late game can be massive. So here we have levy freemen, sort of out of position. Great job here by the heavy horse in just stopping, sending the tribal warriors flying. They're going to take 8 seconds to get back up. and he sort of blocked his own charge there. But so many tribals attacked, they got attacked in the rear. So this was a very nicely done move by Blademaster, but microing there has made him slip up a bit with his micro in the center, because he gets his Oathsworn General charged by this Oathsworn using Battle Rhythm. And now the Oathsworn of Blademaster didn't get a charge at all in the center. Levy Freemen are starting to die after putting up an heroic effort. We have Heavy Horse doing their best to stop the charges of these Oathsworn units and move around the flanks. Over here in the center, the Oathsworn of Blademaster is not doing well at all. He's getting sniped by these mercenary Thracian peltasts. This Oathsworn is not doing well either. It's going to get charged momentarily by the Oathsworn General of Reptylicus. So this definitely, at this point, this does not look good for Blademaster. He does have some heavy horse in the back lines of Tylus. Hammers and Almills, or just rare charges against tribal warriors. Super useful because of their low morale. And here he's doing something smart. He's pulling out from a shield wall. Then he's sending out a heavy horse unit. Pulling out from the shield wall is going to stop him from taking much casualties when pulling out. Then he's going to charge into the mercenary Thracian peltas, but these guys can hold their own in melee. They're going to take quite a bit of damage, but the heavy horse dropping super quickly here to the supporting fire of these mercenary Thracian peltas. And I'm sure these guys are also helping a bit with the killing. So pulling out the Oathsword there really helped. Managed to charge in here and stop a rear charge from happening. So these Oathsworn got hit by both Heavy Horse and these Oathsworn. Reptylicus is going to pull out his own Oathsworn, and on the flank here things are starting to clear up. Looks like we tribals broke because of getting hammered from multiple directions. Levy Freemen are finally dying on the flanks. Heavy Horse getting into Raiding Horsemen, very important. Then we have the Heavy Horsemen smashing into the Raiding Horse, just caught them in time. And the Raiding Horse, they are great units, but they don't stand a chance against the Heavy Horse unit. So 2 Heavy Horse units, 3 Heavy Horse units left on the field for Blademaster at this point. It's going to be very important because Reptylicus does not have much in the way of cavalry left. He does, however, have his general, and Blademaster does not have his general. These peltas are getting attacked by both sides, on both sides. So they're going to go down quickly. And here the Heavy Horse manages to get away from Levy Freeman somehow and gets into Oathsworn, doing further damage to them, attacking them in the rear. And this might actually be the shield wall glitch. It looks like it might be, but I'm not really sure. So now although Reptylicus had quite a lot left, Blademaster's units are going to do very well against them in the late game. Now, there are some Oathsworn units left. They're going to be inspiring nearby units. The General of Blademaster is also alive, but he was just attacked in the rear by heroic Levy Freeman. Still holding on, being very tired, losing the combat and having their general dead. Okay, they're going to start wavering, so let's just ignore those Levy Freemen for a while. A shameful display by them. The Heavy Horse units are still roaming the field. They are tired, they're not exhausted, so their fatigue level has been managed well. Just 2 units running around and cycle charging at will. These Oathsworn managed to get a great volley off on the Heavy Horse, and the Heavy Horse is just instantly starting to waver. But all of these units over here losing decisively, and then they just shatter. This is one of the reasons why Boii is a much safer pick than Tylus in many cases, especially against barbarians. The morale on tribals, on sword followers, is outstanding, but the morale on tribal warriors is very shaky. 55 morale, not great. On sword followers you have a morale of 65, which is very near elite levels of morale. So a Boii army is much sturdier in terms of prolonged engagements than and morale effects. So just a few tribals left in the forest, some levy freemen. The general of Reptilicus is still alive. He has 80 men left in the unit, but we also have 31 sword followers, 75 sword followers, Oathsworn, and this one heavy horse, but 2 heavy horse actually, but they are super depleted. The Oathsworn, however, are not able to rush in and support this fight in time. If they get charged now without getting charged, no, it looks like they're going to get a charge actually. So these sword followers are going to die quickly if these Oathsworn are winded. This would be a great time for these tribals to charge into the rear of these sword followers, but they also have to stop these guys from surrounding them. And Reptilicus is going to pull out here and throw a few javelins at these heavy horse units just to keep them away from rear charging. Here we have levy freemen coming in, rushing in, trying to kill more Oathsworn. So the general of Reptilicus is actually holding this together, but he's getting charged by the biggest and most important units of sword followers here. Now the Oathsworn general got charged in the rear, but he's actually doing reasonably well here. Although around him the rest of his supporting cast is just disintegrating, and now it's a matter of time before this Oathsworn gets surrounded and summarily destroyed. We might as well zoom in on the Oathsworn against Oathsworn action. Cavalry coming in, smashing into the rear of the Oathsworn unit, and even Oathsworn won't like being in an army that loses. They're going to want to get out of there. And that's the end of the battle. So, nice use of the heavy horse. Most of the heavy horse did something important in this battle. The sword followers, this is a situation where 4 Oathsworn and 4 tribals came up against 3 Oathsworn and 5 sword followers. So you would think that the swords here of Reptilicus would be better suited in an infantry engagement than the 5 followers and the 3 Oathsworn. But these supporting units of heavy horse just did much more than the supporting units of Reptyliscus. So although the Oathsworn of Reptilicus did reasonably well in killing these sword followers, some of the tribals just did next to nothing. And true, some of the sword followers and the general of Blademaster performed horribly, and Blademaster in many ways wasted his general, but he did pull off some very good moves on the flanks and in the center that essentially allowed him to gain the advantage that he needed for the late game, because he 98 kills on levy freemen just didn't break 100, because he made some significant mistakes in the center, but he also pulled off some seriously MLG moves that sort of, you can never really nullify losing your general, but it certainly helped. And I think had he lost his general in that way and had been playing as Reptyliscus, he would have lost a lot of units, possibly chain routed, because of the lower morale on these units. But he managed to pull it off in a fairly close battle. Reptilicus did actually have the levy freeman advantage, and he did lose, so I don't know how that's even possible, but I guess it happens sometimes, just a freak accident. Strength and honor.